Mr. Eggplant presents.
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thank you for checking out this video. And I have another Marksman Hunter guide for you guys, and this time we are back for 10.2.5. So this isn't a brand new tier for Mythic Plus or for Raid, but it is a continuation of Season 3 for Dragonflight Mythic Plus, as well as the Emir Drasil Raid. So I'll keep this video updated as much as possible, and then I'll also keep the 10.2 base Marksman Hunter guide updated as well. So there's still a lot of really good information in there, but in this one we're going to be talking about our talents, going over some of the brand new stat lines, how to get the most out of your 4 set, since we're probably going to be using it in Season 4, as well as a rotation and an opener to get the most out of your Marksman Hunter. And like I said, you will probably be using the Season 3 tier set in Season 4 because we get to pick that, and it's currently winning by a large margin. So I will put the link to, I think it's over on Wowhead, but it's also through Blizzard's actual website, so you guys can vote what you want for the MOG for our Season 4 set, as well as what you want for the tier set. And the Season 3, in my opinion, is the best all around for your Marksman Hunter. It gives you more damage than the others, but it also makes Marksman Hunter a little bit more accessible. It's a little bit easier to play. You get more volleys out there, get more trick shots, so you don't have to big brain it as much. And it's just really great for your average Marksman Hunter to do better, and somebody to pick up the spec for the new time, for a first time, as well as experienced players like myself to really squeeze all the damage you can out of your Marksman Hunter. So let's go ahead and check out this first section, which is going to be all about our talents. And I've already recorded this once and realized that I was covering up the stuff with my face, so sorry about that. All right, so this is what we're going to be looking at right now for our single target build. So this is going to be pretty much standard for single target, and then AOE is only about 4 points different. So we're really using the same base kit, which means you can really get used to the build and how it plays. So here on the left side, which is just the Hunter basic side of the tree, you're going to put points all the way down here to Poison Injection, into Death Chakram. Now, other guides will show you, and this does sim the best, to put a point in Steel Trap. That way it gives you a little bit more bleed, and that bleed will do more damage the lower the health of the enemy is, because you know it's another bleed in your build, and thanks to serrated shots, that bleed will do 40% more damage when the enemy is below 30% health. I unfortunately think this is pretty clunky when it comes to a Marksman Hunter, so I do not run with Steel Trap. I still do well in Raid, I still do well in Mythic Plus, although you don't really use it in Mythic Plus. So because of that, I'm going to put 2 points here in Arctic Bola instead of putting 1 point in Bola and then 1 point in Steel Trap, but that is completely your pick, and do what you feel comfortable with. If you want to run with Steel Trap, by all means do that. If you don't, this is a great alternative. And then there are a couple of flex picks. If you're doing like a straight single target boss, probably don't need a point in Tar Trap, don't need one in Trank Shot, don't need one in Concussive Shot, but there's not really a ton of options up here. So because of that, this is what I usually run for a single target encounter over on the Hunter side. And then over here on the Marksman specific side of the tree, like I said, there's only 4 points difference between the single target build and the AOE build, and both of them come down here and pick True Shot first. They pick Rapid Fire because you get the most out of Rapid Fire this season because of your tier set. It really already augments the damage of Rapid Fire, gives you that double tap opportunity with your 4 set, and then you also get Surging Shots, which increases the damage of that Rapid Fire even further and gives you a chance to reset the cooldown of Surging Shot, or of your Rapid Fire as well. So a lot of really great damage coming from Rapid Fire. It's usually like 30 to 35% of my total damage. And then like I said, we go down here and we pick True Shot, then we augment that with Eagle Talons True Focus, and of course Unerring Vision, and then down here all the way at the end for Windrunner's Guidance, which was changed from Season 2 to Season 3. Now it's much more reliable, although you don't get that pop that you would, and to take advantage of it at the very beginning of a single target boss, unless you have those stacks that are still alive from trash just beforehand. So maybe your guild would have to be pulling very quickly in Raid, but you can take advantage of it in Mythic Plus. So here, Windrunner's Guidance can increase the duration of your true shot by upwards of 10 seconds. That is the cap on that. And then we have Bullseye in our kit as well. So whenever you are in your kill shot zone, you can have up to 30% additional crit. If you are building your hunter the way I build mine, I have 40 to 48% crit in my build just base, depending on which file I'm using. Because of that, you can, with Bullseye and having a well-timed true shot at the end of a fight and getting Unerring Vision proccing as well, you have upwards of 90% chance to crit with Unerring Vision, and also having 20% additional crit damage, which is absolutely huge. So other things here in this build are going to be putting 2 points in precise shots, 1 point in improved steady shot. It's a soapbox item for me. I wish this was not a point, should not be a point, but it is. It's a good quality of life pick. You don't have to pick it. You can move it elsewhere, but I still choose to have steady shot actually be worth putting on my bar. And then we do have careful aim, which means our aim shots do 50% additional damage above 70% health. Still running with Lone Wolf because of course we are, and we are augmenting most of our main abilities even further, which does include kill shot in single target, by running with Death Blow and Razor Fragments, because we're getting more rapid fires out and more aim shots than ever before. Alright, so that was for single target, and I will put strings to all this down in the description of the video if you guys would like to check that out. I would encourage you to do so, plug and chug, see what you guys think of my builds. And then this is going to be my build for Mythic Plus. So for Mythic Plus, I'm first off going to remove this point here for Concussive Shot. I'm going to move it down here to Camouflage. Camouflage is a great pick. Obviously, it gives you that camo, so it's not a complete invis, but it's pretty close. I do use it in some keys, not all. I used it more last tier, but you can also move that point around. You can maybe put a point over here in Sentinel Owl if that's something that you think your group would need. I don't recommend it, but it's always an option. And then we're going to move this point from Serrated Shots and move it down here to Explosive Shot. Explosive Shot does a lot of damage in a Mythic Plus situation, particularly with Salvo over here on the other side, which we'll talk about here in a second. It does about 8 to 10% of my total damage. So my three main abilities, yes, 4, considering we have our 4 set for Season 3, is going to go Rapid Fire, then Aim Shot, then Explosive Shot, then Volley. So most of our damage is those 4 abilities. And then everything else pretty much stays the same. If you need entrapment or you need explosive trap for some reason, you could always move one of these other points. If you are going to move them, I would suggest moving the pathfinding up if you absolutely needed to. And then over here on the Marksman Hunter side of the tree, there are 4 different changes. One of these is gone here, one is gone from Target Practice, and then the 2 from Death Blow and Razor Fragments. And then we're going to move it to Multi-Shot, then Trick Shots. And by the way, this is my other soapbox topic. Trick Shots should not be another point. It should just come base with Multi-Shot. If you're making me put a point in Multi-Shot to get it, it should probably give me Trick Shots already. I digress though. And then I'm going to go with Light Ammo since we're not doing nearly as many Multi-Shots as we were in previous seasons. So Bullet Storm kind of falls out of favor, and then you put your point in Salvo. So this build here is what I use every single week in Mythic Plus. I use this exact build. It's giving me really great results. In fact, I've had some, I guess it was with an Og Evoker and it was in Everbloom, so keep that in mind. But I've been doing, upwards of like 450k plus with this build, so it definitely does a lot of damage. So now let's go ahead and check out this next section, which is going to be all about our stat priorities. Alright, so I know that stat priorities is about to cover my face here in just a second. I've been never really good at YouTube. But overall, stat priority has not changed that much here in any of the tiers for Dragonflight, Mythic Plus, and for Raid, outside of adding a lot more haste in our build that we did in Season 2. So there's really no bad stat for secondaries for your Marksman Hunter. Versatility tends to be the worst stat, but as you move up in Mythic Plus, it becomes better. fire, particularly when you get past your 22s, 23s of the world and on up. And then also it's really great in PvP. It's actually your main secondary. So it looks like something like this. So you have your weapon DPS, that's still going to be king. The best weapon is always, or the highest item level weapon is always going to be your best weapon. And then you're going to have your main stat, which is going to be agility. And then I go all the way up to diminished returns with both crit and haste, and then I dump into mastery, and then finally versatility. All right, so this is what I have on my hunter right now. So keep in mind, I do have a versatility trinket, which is the Ember of Nullification, but my stats are pretty juicy right now, and my embellishments are going to be giving me a lot of mastery too, so that's why you see it as high as you do. And I'm actually not using a file right now, so my file would normally be the iced file. So I would have a lot more crit, but as you can see here, and by the way, I am using the add-on called True Stat Value, so that's where you see when I'm hitting penalty. So if you'll notice, I'm not hitting diminished return on any stat. That is my goal. The only time I hit diminished return is on crit, and that is whenever I am using my file. So it's a lot of non-wasted stats, because when I say diminished returns, once you hit 5400 with crit, for example, you don't get full value. You only get 90% of the value. So for every 1 point after 5400, you only get like 0.9 points. Is it a big deal? No, but I want every secondary to count on my marksman hunter. So I go right up to diminished returns for haste and for crit, and I'm actually very high on mastery right now as well, but that is thanks to my embellishments. I won't have those up all the time, but with the blue silk lining, which I'm running 2 of, you can get almost 1,250 bonus mastery when you're above 90% health. And then my versatility is the highest it's been. It's really not high at all, but I will dump a little bit of my mastery into versatility as I move up the key ranks. That's just something that I'm trying to do on my hunter. I would encourage you guys to download this add-on. It's really great. It's really lightweight as well on your computer. And then let's go ahead and check out the next section, which is going to be all about what you guys want to see, which is going to be the opener and rotation. And now onto my single target rotation, which will show up here in just 1 second. So I know this graphic can be kind of confusing. You see rapid fire on there twice, and you also see steel trap, but I do not run with that personally. This is just where it would be in the rotation, should you, or I should say the rotation priority, should you want to run with it. So the reason I have rapid fire on there twice is rapid fire when you have trick shots up, which is when you have volley down, or whenever you happen to be using multi-shot, you won't in single target. So it'll basically just be when you have volley. But extending your volley is the biggest way to increase your damage on your marksman hunter for season 3. In fact, I say it in all my videos, if you throw down your volley before you use your rapid fire, and when you go into a true shot window, you can have your volley up the entire time. That gives you trick shots, whether you need to cleave with it or it just gives you bonus volley damage, and you can continue to just roll that and upwards of 25, 30. I've even had some go as long as 45 seconds for one single volley, which the cooldown of volley is 45 seconds, so then you throw it out again and you go all over again. So the single target rotation would be volley, your rapid fire whenever you have volley up. Always use it. Use your rapid fire on cooldown. Delay it only if your volley is about to come off of cooldown. Then use those kill shot procs whenever they pop up. Then use that volley on cooldown, and then your death chakram. Then if you just have your rapid fire up and you don't have volley, use it at this point, and then your true shot. And then in your true shot windows, you want to go rapid fire, then you, go ahead and use aim shot until rapid fire comes off, and then you'll go back to aim shot, and you'll just go back and forth. It's usually, if you don't get any procs of your tier set or your surging shots, it'll go rapid fire, then you'll use your aim shot, rapid fire, aim shot, and so on and so forth. And then that's when you can use your steel trap, and then you can dump your precise shot procs if you don't have a rapid fire, you don't have a volley to use, you don't have a kill shot, an aim shot, anything like that. Then that's when you can dump those precise shot procs as an arcane shot. And then finally, as you see down there at the bottom, you can use your steady shot as needed for focus regeneration. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at our opener. I know this is what you guys are after. So openers are a lot of fun. You can do so much damage so quickly. So this is what I'm going to do for my opener. I'm going to show you guys this live. So I'm going to go aim shot, and that's going to be like my pre-cast 2 seconds before a boss is ready to be pulled. And by the way, I am using my hunter's mark just before that happens. So, you know, put that up on the pull timer for 10, and at 2 seconds, I'm going to use my aim shot. Then I'm going to go Death Chakram. I'm going to use my volley, true shot, and then I'm just going to spam my rapid fires, and then I'm going to use aim shot when rapid fire is off of cooldown, and you guys are going to watch my damage skyrocket. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Alright, so I'm here in Valdrakken, and then just so you guys know, this is the build that I'm using. I am using one trinket, which is going to be that Mirror of Fractured Tomorrows, very good trinket, and the Ember of Nullification. And then, no funny business, this is the same build that we just talked about, although I do have my my camo. So let's go ahead and put Hunter's Mark on the ad, and let's see what I can do. So as you can see there, I did kind of screw it up a little bit. I could have been using some of those free rapid fires instead of just going to the aim shot. But whenever you proc those free rapid fires, they are double tapped. They do so much damage. It's very noticeable when you get a bunch of them in quick succession. My DPS will skyrocket, particularly in bullseye range. But I'm going to stop beating up on this duelist, and let's go ahead and take a look at our AOE build. And now up next is going to be my AOE or my Mythic Plus build rotation priority. So again, it's going to pop up here on the screen, and you want to use your explosive shot on cooldown, but try to make sure you're hitting 3+ targets. If you know you're going to have a big pull coming up, maybe you delay it a little bit. Otherwise, I send that every 30 seconds. I'm going to do the same with Death Chakram. It doesn't do a lot of damage in its own right, but it definitely helps all of your other abilities do 10% more damage. So be sure and try to couple that together with your volley every time. And speaking of volley, you do have salvo in your build whenever you are in an AOE build, so make sure that you put those together in a macro. And then again, anytime that you use a rapid fire or anytime that you use an aim shot, make sure you have trick shots up, whether volley is up giving that to you or you use your multi-shot in between. Please do that, otherwise you're not doing nearly as much damage, and you are doing yourself a disservice because you can do a lot of damage with this tier set. So then that's when I'm going to use my rapid fire. Use that true shot pretty liberally. I rip it unless I know that a boss is going to be coming up within 2 minutes. Then I will hold it because you want to make sure and have it up for bosses, particularly on tyrannical weeks, because you are doing the bonus 50% damage with your aim shots, and you still do a pretty healthy amount of aim shots during that time. And then that's where you see aim shot. So it's kind of weird to do a rotation priority because everything is so situational. I can't just say do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, because there are all sorts of different situations. So just make sure that you are, if you have rapid fire up and you have aim shot up, use your rapid fire first, because when you cast that next aim shot, it has a chance to give you that rapid fire back in its entirety, and it's going to be double tapped and do so much more damage. So it's always smart to forget about the focus regeneration aspect of your rapid fires. Send rapid fire with trick shots, of course, or volley up, which gives trick shots, and then do an aim shot. You'll see me screw up in my Mythic Plus runs. I'm still trying to get that old aim shot first, then rapid fire to regen your focus out of my head. And then, of course, use your, if you don't have rapid fire up, you don't have a way to cleave, anything like that, use those kill shots if they pop up, particularly on an AOE Mythic Plus boss, for example. And then I have my multi-shot there, and that's only if you need to dump focus with your precise shot procs, which do more damage. It's only 35% in an AOE build versus 75 or 70, excuse me. 70 or 75 in a single target. And then, of course, use your steady shot as needed for focus regeneration. And again, that note down there, always have trick shots up before you use an aimed or rapid fire. And then finally, for an AOE opener for Mythic Plus, it's going to look very similar, but this does a lot of damage, and we're going to check it out here in just a second. And then we're also going to show you an example for one of my latest Marksman Hunter runs in Everbloom. I think it's like a 21 or a 22. But you're going to use your explosive shot, then you're going to do Death Chakram, and then your salvo volley macro, and then you're going to send your true shot macro, and then you're going to use rapid fire, aim shot, rapid fire, aim shot, and so on and so forth. You can keep your volley up that entire time. So let's go ahead and make quick work of these little dummies here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my hunter's mark, and then I'm going to go ahead and send everything I just said. Look at that, a lot of damage. That was probably not the best pull as well, and I peaked at like almost 1.1 million without any sort of raid buffs or any sort of buffs that your group would provide. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a live example with a Lust, with a different trinket. I'm using Witherbark's Branch in that run, but we absolutely annihilated this pack, which is going to be 411k DPS and a plus 22 timed Everbloom. So here we're going to do a big pull here at the very beginning. So I'm going to hold back, making sure I interrupt that choking vine should I need to. And here I'm going to full send literally everything, including my pre-pot. So here I throw down my volley, then go true shot, then rapid fire, death chakram, aim shot, rapid fire, and just pump damage. Look at those numbers. It is so beautiful. I think I top out at 1.6 million DPS. There's a choking vines there. Didn't have to worry about it because somebody else got it. And if you can do, if you can get as many rapid fires out like on big pulls. And this last section before we get to the consumables for this tier is going to be talking in a little bit more depth about the tier set bonus. So for the 2 set, just increases the duration of your rapid fire by an additional 20%, and it gives you volley for 6 seconds whenever you use your rapid fire while you have trick shots up already. So that's why you want to go ahead and drop down your volley first, then hit rapid fire, then that'll restart the 6 seconds of your volley, which if you're in a true shot situation, then you can follow up with an aim shot, and you'll always be able to literally get a rapid fire, aim shot, rapid fire, and you can extend the duration the entire time, like I said earlier. And then the 4 set, every time you spend 10 focus, which by the way, an aim shot is 35 focus, which means every time you use an aim shot, you have at least a 9% chance to reset the cooldown of rapid fire, and that rapid fire is then double tapped, doing 100% additional damage and additional shots during the channel, which also means you get more focus regeneration as well. That's just kind of like a bonus, a cherry on top at that point. But then you can literally just chain your pulls together. Like for example, in a Mythic Plus situation, there's points where I don't use multi-shot for probably 30 or 40 seconds. It's pretty nutty right now. Everbloom is a great example because there's a lot of really big pulls in there, which you guys saw just a second ago, where you can literally, if you have all of your cooldowns ready to send those, you just throw that volley down, true shot, of course using death chakram and explosive shot before that. Once they're all grouped up, true shot, then follow that true shot up with a volley, or excuse me, a rapid fire right away to then give you 6 seconds more, and then you just spray. You do so much damage, and I know you can go even further than 1.6 million. That was a pull from like 3 weeks ago now. I know I can do more. My goal is to get a 2 million pull. I know it can happen. I just gotta get a little bit better at my rotation and get a little lucky, to be honest, with those double tapped rapid fires. So that's one of the biggest things out of your tier set, is abuse it. You don't have to spend nearly as many global cooldowns on multi-shot, which multi-shot is not being pumped up damage wise now because we're not using both points in precise shots, and we're not putting a point in your bullet storm. So because of that, it's doing significantly less damage, and that means that's more time to do rapid fires, more time to do aim shots, which could give you more rapid fires. It works so well right now. It'll be really sad whenever this set does go away though, because we do need this borrowed power to really do well. I know we're just very squishy as Marksman Hunter. I'm hoping that we'll see some more changes as we get closer to War Within. The alpha will be out very soon. You better believe that I'm going to be hopefully checking that out. But let's go ahead and check out this last section here, which is going to be all about your consumables, and then we'll finish this video off. And this last section is the consumables and enchants that I use on my Marksman Hunter. And keep in mind, there is one thing on this list that should be on this list that is not, which is going to be your helm enchant, which we got from Amir Drassil. If you do not have it on your Marksman Hunter so far, just pop on into LFR and run LFR for 2 weeks. You'll be able to get it, maybe even in one if you're really lucky with those ephemera drops. So for your flask, if you want more crit in your build, particularly if you're an alchemist, go ahead and put your chips in the iced file of Corrupting Rage. If you need more survivability, use your tepid Versatility flask, or file, excuse me. For your potions, use that fleeting elemental potion of ultimate power, which gives you your main stat. Food, you can go ahead and use whatever food you like. I tend to use Versatility food, which gives me 105 versatility, just for a little bit more boost to my damage, and that doesn't saves me from getting into diminished return. Otherwise, use your sizzling seafood medley, which gives you haste and mastery. For your cloak and anything like cloak and bracers, I always put avoidance. Avoidance just helps us survive. So for cloak, I use graceful avoidance. For bracer, I use devotion of avoidance. For my chest, you can use either waking stats or accelerated agility. The reason I use accelerated agility is it gives me more speed in my build. Or movement speed. Does that matter? No, but whenever I was using Neltharion's Call to Dominance last tier, it slowed me every time I used my true shot. So I had accelerated agility on there, and now I've just kind of kept the same thing, but this is totally your choice. Waking stats is going to be the cheaper option there. For your boots, you can use Plain Runner's Breeze or the Loam. I forget what it is exactly, but there is a Loam enchant. I prefer Breeze because it gives you more movement speed. For the rings, you can literally pick anything. Any of the four. I know I don't have versatility on here. Pick anything that doesn't hit you to diminish returns. You're going to get value out of it. So if I need to add more haste to my build, I'll change my haste or my enchants and my rings to haste. I switch those often. They're very cheap now. For legs, Fierce Armor Kit is going to be the way to go. For gems, it works very similar to your ring enchants now. I use the stats in the gems to make sure that I'm not hitting diminished returns, but mostly I am using the Crafty Yazimrald, and then for my one a limited diamond, I use the Fierce one, which gives me a good amount of the secondary stat that I need. And then for my weapon, last couple ones here, I use the High Intensity Thermal Scanner. There is like the I think it's called the Pinion, something like that actually sims way better than the High Intensity Thermal Scanner, but the sims don't take into consideration that you don't always have it up. And then for your weapon oil, you're going to use the Completely Safe rockets, and I am so proud of myself. This is the second video that I actually remembered to put the weapon oil on there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure and follow me over at Twitch at twitch.tv/MrEggplant. I meant for this video to be short, sweet, and to the point, and I once again chatted way too much. But I hope I gave you guys a lot of good information, kind of an insight into what my brain is thinking when I jump on my Marksman Hunter. I've had so much fun playing him so far, and I will continue to play him into Season 4. My goal is to get to 3K IO score by the time Season 3 is done. I'm very close to that, and I will have an update video for you guys each and every week for the rest of Season 3, and also into the meme season, Season 4, whichever or whenever that may be, which is most likely going to be less than 2 months. It has to be if we're going to have any sort of rotation for affixes for Season 4. But thank you guys for watching. I will have a Season 4 Marksman Hunter guide out as well whenever that happens, but we'll just have to wait and see when Blizzard decides to roll that out. So thank you guys for watching. Best of luck in your Mythic Plus journey, in your raid journey, your Marksman Hunter journey, and I will see you next time.